Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the finest Dawn of War Unification cast this side of East Yorkshire. And today we've got a 1 versus 1 on Deadly Fun Archaeology. Playing the right side as the Praetorian Guard, we've got oOps. Playing left side as the Tyranids, we've got Tokyo, Oguri, Thrift Carrot. Tokyo will be opening up with a couple of Gene Stealers and a Tyrannicus Brood Spire, whereas oOps is going to go for a Convict Squad, a Irregular Squad, a Soldier's Mess, and a Generator. I do quite like this matchup. The prim and proper Praetorian Guard versus the slinky, sliding, and disgusting hordes of the Tyranids. We're seeing a true Praetorian opening here. Not going for their usual, or what they call the Blood Axe encampment grounds, or anything like that. Nope, just good old-fashioned Martini Henry rifles from the regular sections, which might actually have a bit of difficulty going up against the Tyrannicus Brood Spire units, as what can have get Warriors, or Raveners. Probably going to see some Raveners coming from these guys first and foremost. Love to tunnel up underneath people and smash them around. Whereas the regular section of the Soldier's Mess, unlike other Imperial Guard factions, they don't exactly enjoy moving around a lot. They need to stay stationary for a little while to be able to get their las guns in effect. So, yep, so being in a mobile situation will do the Praetorians no favours whatsoever. I can see double Raveners come straight out of the gate for them, as everyone's just going around capturing their bits and bobs. Their nearest dearest, some would call them. We are going to see an aid station placed on here as well. Oh, okay, so no new mission stores. Just some aid stations to keep these guys alive and stuff. Give them their tea and biscuits and make sure that they're, doing all right emotionally and physically. Going straight over for the contested strategic point in the centre while quickly expanding over onto the southern side. Gene Stealers are doing exactly the same as the first Spore Chimneys come out and about. I imagine from the perspective of the Tyranids, they probably want to attack hard and attack fast with their Raveners, especially if there's just a bunch of regulars on the defensive at the moment. The Praetorians aren't exactly amazing at defending with their regimental statues. They can climb inside them and fire around, but the mainstay of the defensive capacities from these regimental statues is the orbital bombardments that they can... Well, not orbital, it's more like a Valkyrie kind of bombardment coming in, which is remarkably easy to dodge and move around with. But have you cancelled these guys? You have cancelled them. Why have you cancelled them? Hold on, let me go from the different perspective. Oh, that's because you're inside. Right, okay, no, ignore me. They're ready to deep strike. And the regulars are just going to do a little bit of poking, prodding, seeing what they can see. Got some reclamation pools already spawning, or being plopped down from the sky, I suppose. And the regulars are going to think, right, okay, well, that's here. So we may as well start smashing them around. Rather than say, no, thank you, we don't like that. You can get gone, young squire. I mean, just looking at the... I can squeeze in a little bit here. Looking at the size comparison. Yeah, these guys are not in a happy situation, but they've got some friends to come and join them. Firing away in their formations. Probably don't want to push in too far forward. Raveners are going to get back inside the Brood Spire. And if there's two squads and there's two Raveners, may as well then pop one to come up from the ground here and one from the ground here. But the Martini rifles, a lot of damage. Well, I mean, not amazing amounts of damage against buildings, but sizable amounts, considering the stage of the game that we're in. These poor lads, unable to retreat, being penetrated and then munched on before being swung away by that Ravener. Very unfortunate. That's going to hide inside the regimental statue. It's got the convicts moseying around on the right-hand side. And already going to see a tier 2 from oOps here. Tier 2.5 is where the Praetorian Guard really do shine. Got quite a fantastic selection of vehicles that can be a real nuisance and headache for the Tyranids. We've got Hermes pattern sentinels, which can be upgraded with the, what's it called? The autocannon. There's a lot of damage against heavy infantry, although these Raveners are just regular infantry. Does help them smash up buildings all the same. The Praetorian Guard, not one to be shaked off too easily. They've fallen back, they've regained their numbers, now going to come back over. Raveners don't need to go all the way back home to the Chronicles respect. There we go, going to tunnel straight on under. Lovely little bit of placement for them. Breaking morale instantly, more or less, on both of these squads. And these guys do not contend with the Raveners at all in close combat, so no option to put the fall back. But the Raveners could press down a little bit harder if they wanted to. I mean, what? I mean, they're just kind of hanging around over here. Tyranids do like to be aggressive in the early game, usually, but seeing them being a little bit more defensive in this game. With their mobility, they could come over and start doing some harassment on these far-flung strategic points. Could also just go straight inside the base and start smashing up generators as well. Ammunition stores on the way, which I assume grenade launchers would be their way. You can only get one there. It's not as flexible as the other guardsman squads. One unit being brought down to just 2 men, trying to get a sergeant out for their commercial well-being. Current economy is 60 blue versus 116 and 30. So the Praetorian Guard certainly got all their economy ship shape and Bristol fashion. For 4th generator as well. With plenty of green money for some vehicles later on. Yeah, Tyranids need to actually do something. Need to play the game. Although I suppose they've gone for a Xenotype Brood Womb. So, what do you get from these guys? You get the zone throps. So maybe they're just playing a bit more defensive, waiting for that economy to go on. And to be fair, the Tyranids, all they really need is just to build up a mass of reclamation pools. And as long as the Praetorian Guard aren't breaking them down, they can play the long game.
Good work, good.
The defensive Tyranid players aren't terrible, but would like to see these guys moving a bit far forward. Oh, they're going for massive Death Spitters. Right, so they're just thinking, well, if the Praetorian Guard keep on running away, let's go for massive guns ourselves and just kill these guys from a far-flung distance. Oh, Commissar in the ranks. I do quite like the model for the Commissar. A nice pair of shades on him. No sand is getting in his eyes today. No siree. Raveners moving a bit forward, firing away.
I demand excellence.
And in a straight up trade of firepower. I mean, they've got the numbers, have the Tyranids. They've also got the firepower now. You'll see a Griffin coming out. A relatively cheap artillery unit in the grand scheme of things. And that, see what I mean? The regimental statue tries to throw down some artillery fire, but not quite going for it. Oh, we're going to see some Biovars from Tokyo. So what, are you just basically going to meet the Praetorian Guards where they're strongest? Just say, right, okay, well, if you're going to go for artillery, I'm going to go for a frontline firing squads, then we're going to do exactly the same and see who comes out on top. It's brave. But I mean, the artillery for the Praetorian Guard is probably a little bit better, but the Raveners are able just to basically tunnel underneath them and start bashing in close combat. The Death Spitters aren't going to help them with taking on vehicles, I do believe, especially when the morale's been broken. And they've got no access to regain the morale until they go back home. Could really do with a Broodlord or a Hive Tyrant in their ranks just to keep them all motivated and stuff. Biovars now having to move back since their front line has been fallen. No, quite nice. Catching them on the tail end of the artillery there. Double Griffins now. We'll just move them a little bit further back. There we go. You've regained your morale, but just these guys as well. Not quite getting there. Biovars able to take on those regulars. No questions asked. A couple of bombs is what you need to break them down. Thankfully, they've got a Commissar in their ranks there, so it takes a few more blasts, but I mean, dying quite quickly. And the Commissar goes down. Very sad time for him. Artillery firing away as the Tyranids focus on taking out the infantry first and foremost. Really like to see these guys just tunnel underneath. Their close combat capability is quite substantial. So, I mean, be able to rip through the armour of the Griffins. And they've got 2,200 health, which is quite a lot. But their armour isn't amazing. Also cannon on the Hermes pattern Sentinel. Always makes me think of, oh, can't remember what it's called, but you know that red bird thing? That it's a toy that you tap on the head, and it goes forward, takes a drink of something, falls backwards, and then keeps on going backwards and forwards with the momentum. I think there was like a Simpsons episode where Homer was working from home and used that. That's what the Hermes pattern Sentinel makes me think of. The Raveners, they've tunneled behind enemy lines, but it's not helping them any bit whatsoever. They're being shot at by the regulars. Not great for them. The Biovars, though, massing in number. They are doing gradual damage over time to the Griffins. Which actually, once they hit a good volley, maybe 3 or 4 volleys takes out a Griffin. Hermes now moves down on the southern side. It's a fresh one, this one. Not got any upgrades. Raveners are low on number. And And I assume, yeah, we're going to see a zone throw-up squad from the Xenotype Brood Womb. It'll be great at sniping out the Griffins if they can get close enough. Got a stiff upper lip upgrade. You like the prim and proper moustache. Every man should have a moustache. That's just the rules. Combat engagements. I do believe in the British Army these days, there's still the rule where you're not allowed any facial hair unless it's like a really good moustache. Which is good. Oh, unless you've got like a beard for like religious reasons or something. I think. I mean, I've never joined the army, believe it or not, boys or girls. But I assume that's the way it works. Oh, we've got some regulars coming in, some fresh ones. Still not got any weapons upgrades. Oh, I can now get 3 grenade launchers. Why is that? You only get 1 earlier on. Oh, is it because you built up some more munition stores? Maybe that's it. The Griffins now falling quick and fast to the Xenotype. Sorry, to the zone throw-ups. Also, zone throw-ups do a fair bit of damage. AoE style to infantry formations as well. Although the Griffins front-mounted heavy bolter seems to be doing a fair bit of damage to him. Sentinel still causing some mischief on the southern side. And it seems to me that the Tyranids are trying to, like I mentioned earlier, try and play the same game as the Praetorian Guard. They're thinking, right, okay, well, we've got artillery, got some people to fire on the front lines. However, that's probably not the way you really want to play the Tyranids. They're quite flexible, are their roster. And whatever the enemy's weak against, you've got an answer for it. I mean, a mass of maybe a little infantry in the early game to tie up the regulars. Maybe focus on breaking down the ballistic person on the southern side with a warrior squad or 2. But no, they're just saying, right, well, we'll just meet you where you stand. But a good amount of zone throw-ups now should be able to break down the Griffins. But there is a convict squad. Oh, we've also got a Praetorian Murtaugh emplacement. An aggressive defensive structure there. The Griffins are falling foul. Zone throw-up seeming to resist that incoming damage quite a bit. Going to get 3 members in their squads. Oh, we've got 1 parole officer. No convicts to use as a meat shield here. Regulars going across no man's land for reasons beyond my ken. Maybe just to give some vision to the Griffin. Got some smoke grenades going off here for defensive reasons to avoid that incoming damage from the Biovores. There's just an artillery battle at the moment. Oh, I've got a Blood Axe Killer Can. Don't see these guys often. The Walker option for the Praetorian Guard breaks down one of the Spore Chimneys. Gun economy is 160 and 79 compared to 106 and 0. It's both staggering economies for both sides. And there we go, the Warriors. That's what we want to see. Want to get these guys, maybe put some rending claws on them, send them in, and bash things in close combat, while the zone throw-ups deal with things in the mid-range combat, and then the Biovores just annihilate things from a distance. Also got the Carnifex Chamber for some bigger and badder units. But turning all their attention over to this Blood Axe Killer Can. I suppose you don't really want one of these guys in the back lines. The zone throw-ups should be able to wipe him out relatively quickly. Volley or 2 sends him down the loo, as they say. Tank Commander Exterminator, the anti-vehicle and infantry orientated tank commander. Got double plasma cannons. And is that a las cannon? I think it's a las cannon. Either way, good in a more general sense. Going for a Blood Axe Burner Bomb, of all things. Not seen one of those before on the channel. Ultra gunship, so maybe some airplay to avoid the close combat orientated warriors. But no, they're going to go for some venom cannons, which will help them against heavy infantry, I think. Zone throw-ups focusing on the tank commander. Burner bomb flying on high. Oh, sorry, yeah, burner bomber, should I say. Some AoE damage to the Biovores. Doing them pretty nicely, actually. But the aircraft will not survive. Massive fire from the warriors. Zone throw-ups unsupported a little bit here. Being fired at by grenadiers. Scout majors in there as well. And the convicts repairing that tank commander. Got it down to half health. Would have been probably quite a close call if the warriors and the Biovores were able to support them, but we're focusing down that burner bomber. Let's get some more regulars in a forward motion. Gene Sealers attempting to recapture this strategic point, but no mass, no pass for them. Hive Tyrant spawned forth, and also got a proper Carnifex. No, not your Screamer Killers or your Hellfexes. This is a proper one. 5,000 health Demon Armor as well. Praetorian gun. I don't think at the top of my head that they've got any actual anti-demon stuff. The Carnifex will be quite a difficult customer to shimmy and shake away. These regulars, love the usage of them. Let's move them forward as chaff infantry to allow the back units to get... Oh my goodness, never mind what I was saying, they've got grot tanks. Another grot tank. One dude firing away. Quite cheap, but packed the punch for what you pay for them. Also quite a long range as well. A mini artillery unit. Very nice stuff. Vulture gunship. Not surviving. The Carnifex is weathering the storm here. He's got his big, what are you called? Yeah, you've got your venom cannon. Doing damage at a distance. But again, would love to see some close combat stuff from the Tyranids. Got plenty of options. Hive Tyrant. He's gone for a Barb Strangler. Quite low on health at the moment. That's the problem with commander units that can't join other squads. They're quite vulnerable to being focused down. Got the Vulture gunship taking on the Reclamation Force. And that's one thing that the Praetorian Guard, for all their artillery slow advances, they've not been able to take on the economy of the Tyranids, which is why they're able to keep on task here. Still losing quite a lot of the models throughout the entire game. So not being able to amass that critical horde, really. Some Blood Axe mercs moving on forward, going for a knob, as well as some big shooters. Massive grot tanks, love to see it. And a second Tyrannicus Broodspire. I mean, you've got plenty of money, so may as well buy more units as you go. What are you actually spending your money on? Nothing at the moment, just kind of reeling from the might of the grot tanks here. What kind of economy is going on? 110 and 165 and 105. And we do have a Shadow Sword on the way. Big bad relic units. Not looking good for the Tyranids at the moment. They have the money, but they're not really spending it on all that much. At this point, they're probably just blindsided by all the things going on. Oh, are you teching up? No, you're not teching up. You are in tier 3. But managing to hold people back with that one singular Carnifex that's still alive. Good lord, get a couple of those guys on the field. And the Praetorians will struggle quite considerably. A replacement Hive Tyrant on the way. And there we go, another Carnifex. Showing the bad man Dem how it's done. We do have a Orc Bunker being placed down. Being shot up by the Biovores, which are the one thing that have managed to survive the majority of this battle here. Still not captured or recaptured that strategic point. And the Praetorians have got more money than MySpace at the moment. Or MySpace back in the glory days. Your commanders. Don't see these guys often. All stealthed up. Plenty of boomy bits that they can make use of. Yeah, you can see where the battle's primarily been taking place. It's just basically been Tyranids holding back the Praetorians here. They are able to play defensively, our Tyranids, like I say, but that's probably not where they want to be. And what have you gone for? Right, you're going to go for a flanking maneuver. Ah, you won't expect... You're thinking that we're going to be here, but you don't expect us to come around this side. Fresh Carnifex, back to full health. Engaging in a ranged combat scenario. Biovores blasting away at the massive... Oh no, you're focusing on these guys over here. That'd be the prime target for all the infantry's massed up. Shadow Sword now coming in. Warriors from the Tyrannicus Broodspires. He just comes in and he's like, right, oh, I'm just going to ignore all the fighting going on down here. As the commanders summon forth just a fleet of explodey bits. And yep, the Tyranids seem to be giving up here. So yeah, so I think I've overdone this comment so far. Tyranids, they had the option of going for many different kinds of things. The Raveners being a cracking choice in the early game. I mean, we saw them just absolutely annihilate the regulars. And once the morale was broken and the squad sizes were brought down to a sizable amount, could have just come over and just started, like, wrecking face over on this side. But they're starting against it and playing defensively, which is not what Tyranids want. They want to be able to go along and just basically attack on many fronts as humanly possible. And the Biovars, you know, a nice choice to smash up the infantry as they started gaining quite a sizable amount. But against a faction that's got massively superior artillery options to you, probably not the way forward. Play it to your strengths and play to their weaknesses. That's what I say. So anyway, cheers boys and girls for watching at home, and if you want to support the channel, have a look at the old Patreon. £1 a month gets you once a game a week, and there is also Discord, where Discord things happen. Links in the description as always. Mine's been Mr. Landshark, pleasure as always, never short, and I will see you in a bit. Peace.